you, Axel Toss, and we've got G2 trying to reclaim some of their mojo after a disappointing loss last week to NRG, but G2 rather, still in the running for top 2, but they're going to have a very good and very successful next few weeks.
When delving into these team stats, you always find some really interesting stuff, and I think one of the coolest ones for me is that Kronovi has 0 solo goals this season so far. So a very big team player. Now, I know they don't have as many stats as some of the others, but we know that historically, we know Kronovi is incredibly mechanical. He has some of the best shots we'd seen during Season 1, Season 2, his early career. But, you know, seeing that slow transition of knowing that the more mechanical players tend to be your better setup players. And we're just seeing more and more proof as we delve into these stats of these players.
Yeah, and Kronovi just a hard worker because, you know, he is one of those guys. He was the biggest Rocket League player back when Rocket League first started. And to see him still at the top of his game right now, 0.73 goals per game, 0.73 assists per game. He's, you know, he's just a great all-around performance from him, just doing whatever work needs to get done.
Now, looking at the other side of the field, you actually have an opposite stat. Jacob, 40% of his goals are solo goals. Now, you know, the team probably shouldn't allow that, but that also means that A, he can do it on his own, but B, is he taking away from chances of passing to his teammates? They're decent passers, but you need to make sure that you're capitalizing on all the space that you're given.
Yeah, we've seen Jacob just do Jacob things. We'll see if he can pull that off here in game number 1. G2 going up against Rogue. A win will clinch top 6, and that one should have been a goal. A follow-up from Kronovi. He secures it.
Was there a demo somewhere in after this as well? Jacob just barely missing that. JNaps smacking that off the crossbar. We see a demolition on, I believe it was actually somebody on G2.
But also JNaps, that should have been a goal put in by JNaps. Kronovi, he was able to come in and clean it up. But JNaps, we heard the desk say they wanted to see more from him. We'll see if he steps up. But a good early goal for G2. Sizz trying to push that downfield. Kronovi's going to just put it up to the wall, right to JNaps. JNaps downfield. Rizzo beats out Insolences. Jacob, a clear attempt, shut down by Kronovi. Sizz over to Insolences, a block by JNaps, sends it into the corner.
Being very patient trying to get this out of their half.
But a good pass from Jacob's going to set up a backboard chance. Jacob up to Insolences, and he's going to tap it down, but JNaps gets there in time.
The patience of Jacob to put it high because he had the trust that Insolences was behind him, but the shot came a little bit too slow.
The hustle there, keeping the score clean for G2. See if Rogue can mount another attack. Kronovi keeping this ball in the Rogue half. Turning again to get a piece of it. Rizzo's going to have some time. Sizz over to Jacob. Jacob downfield. Insolences going for the touch. He misses it. Rizzo demo. Sizz. Jacob is going to control that in the corner. Another demo from Rizzo.
Coming into this game, Rizzo was actually tied for the top demos per game in the league. He was tied with Dapper coming into this weekend, but it seems like he's trying to put himself at the top of that leaderboard for sure.
Those demos certainly helping, and some good shots there from G2. Narrowly missing the mark. Rizzo trying to pass that over. Jacob got in the way. Now Sizz. Up the shot from Sizz. That's going to hit the crossbar. Another close call for Rogue. Now Jacob trying to pass it out. Does get it to Sizz. Sizz in the middle, and no one's there. Kronovi spots JNaps, but Jacob and JNaps got tangled there.
The idea from Sizz, though, in midfield, instead of trying to just salt and pepper that net with those weak midfield shots, he opted to go for the pass.
Oh, and a chance again. Insolences off the post. Rogue has been getting so close, they just can't put it in the net. And now a dangerous touch there. Sizz and Insol both get a piece. Still in danger. Jacob and Insol both missing that, and from JNaps secures the goal for G2.
Jacob getting stuck in the back of the net after trying to make another risky save. He wanted to push that out, thinking it might drop. You see him sitting in the back, but he has no boost. He was hoping to use anything at his disposal, but JNaps, prominent striker, puts it just below the crossbar to make sure no one can get there.
And then kudos to Kronovi as well, playing cleanup, bumping Insolences out of the play. And just like that, G2 a 2-goal lead despite Rogue having some solid chances, some solid opportunities. Now Insolences does get that touch, forcing the issue here. Clear by JNaps. Insolences gets the demo. Jacob's going to pop that up. Rizzo might be able to follow this up for a double tap, but Insolences hits it downfield. Another touch from Sizz. That's going to pop up. Jacob is trying to throw his car at the ball. Block from Rizzo. Jacob beats out Kronovi. JNaps with a clear attempt. Insol's going to get there first, but Rizzo gets a piece. Chance here. Insolence is going to put a shot in, and that is off the crossbar. Rogue just cannot put it in.
Their ideas are there, but just a tiny bit off on execution. A couple of shots going wide, a couple of passes not being followed up, but I love the way they're thinking.
Under a minute left to play. Long clear from JNaps. Kronovi tried to get a piece of it. No boost from JNaps. He challenges nonetheless. Rizzo over to Kronovi. What's he going to do? He goes for the shot off the backboard. JNaps was almost there to follow that one up. Kronovi.
Nice turn.
He had some options there. Now Insolences down. Kronovi there yet again. Jacob's going to try to center this ball. Insol and Sizz both go for it. Open net. JNaps is just going to hit it down off the backboard. That's going to be game over. Game 1 in favor of G2 Esports, despite the multiple chances for Rogue.
That, even though the score margin might not show it, I think that game was incredibly close. Rogue seriously was putting up, you can see only, what, 2-3 shots underneath what G2 was able to put up. But coming into this game, just to talk about it, so there's a really cool stat that we've been tracking, which is the passing stat. So it's essentially, if I touch the ball, and within the next couple seconds, the next person to touch it is a teammate, it's considered a pass, right? Because I'm deliberately putting this towards a teammate. Now, what makes G2 so threatening, and kind of unique to them, is that out of the top 5 passers, G2 are 3 of them. They're ranked number 1, number 4, and number 5, which means that collectively they're all constantly looking for each other. It's not just one person looking for the striker; it's everyone always looking for each other.
Yeah, and that does have a basis in reality as well. Sometimes stats they come up with them and they don't really describe reality whatsoever. But for G2, it's very accurate. I mean, you go look at the top plays. One of them was a 1-2-3 passing play. Like G2 is one of the few teams where we've seen them have multiple successful, really bang, 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 1-2-3 passing plays. And you know, it just goes to show you they love going for the passes. Even the desk was talking about how they always go for the passes, maybe even to the detriment of themselves sometimes, trying to be a little too cute. But yeah, definitely G2. That passing game's working for them so far.
Now, something I'm curious, and I want to poke your brain with this, James. They don't have a whole lot of shots. So coming into this week, they were, what, 7th in shots on goal. But they were also, or shots on goal per game, I should say. But they were also 7th in saves per game. Usually, it's going to be heavy-handed in one way, right? If you're not striking, that means you're on defense.
Yeah, usually the teams that are on the lower end of the ladder have the most saves.
So I find it super unique. That means that they turn around very well at that midfield and quarter field, always trying to cut things off before they're actually a threat. But then they're also passing so often, they might not always take a lot of shots on goal until it's actually going to for sure be a goal.
Yeah, and then they were a little fortunate as well, just Rogue missing all of their shots, and a save there from JNaps. Will Rogue overcome their accuracy issues? Pass into the middle from Jacob, that's going off the backboard.
He almost got it.
Jacob likes to do those reads. The ones normal humans would just leave, he goes for. Now Jacob again, long clear. Sizz gets beat out by Rizzo. JNaps on the wall, going for the shot in. Insolences with the save. Jacob with full boost. Throws it off the backboard. Quick shot from JNaps downfield. Sizz turns that one aside. Follow-up from Rizzo. Pressure mounting for G2.
seems to be a bit more obvious of the roles right now that Rogue are taking. Insolences seems to be a bit more in that defensive role. He really has made a lot of their clutch saves, while Sizz and Jacob always move up together in a pair, try and give each other targets. You know, I think earlier in the league, we really couldn't tell that that was exactly what they were going for. We kind of assumed it because duos tend to work well together, but it's much more apparent in this series.
We've seen how good Jacob can be on the offensive
Here it
side
is
of the
again.
ball. Yeah, there it is, the Sizz-Jacob connection. Putting some pressure on G2. Jacob centering that ball. Sizz trying to take his time. Does find some boost. Sizz and Insol both go up for that one, but a long clear from Sizz. Very important win there. JNaps.
Yeah, he used a lot of boost to save that touch.
Trying to air dribble that one out.
The first touch putting him in a dangerous spot, so he figured he'd use his whole tank to get himself in a better position.
A shot coming in. Kronovi with the harassment, but somehow they save it. But Rizzo, just too much pressure for Rogue to handle. He gets the goal.
As Kronovi and Sizz both went for this, I couldn't tell who'd get in whose way. Sizz was able to push that out, but the follow-up from Rizzo, just a little too difficult. G2, the counterattacks are strong.
Kronovi is so well known for his play style of just going up and getting in the face of a team on offense. You saw him just backflip there,
Yeah,
to try to prevent those defenders from making the play. And the demo from Sizz. So G2 still get out early. We'll see if Rogue can respond. They were scoreless last game. They're still scoreless here. Good clear. Kronovi racing to it, not much boost, and that's going to be enough for him to get that counterattack goal.
Sizz and Insolences trying to make a play together. Insol went up thinking that he might have had some more control, but honestly from the angle, when I was watching from Sizz's camera, he really couldn't get behind that ball. There's no way he would have pushed that out. It would have only been a defender that would have been the one that pushed it out to Insol, which means he probably should have been deeper, knowing it would have been a hard clear. But again, in the heat of the moment, very difficult decisions made.
And now, off the kickoff, Kronovi strikes yet again. 3-0 in favor of G2. They're starting to run away with it.
We don't see a lot of kickoff goals here. Jacob, I cannot believe he didn't get a touch on that. It looked like he nearly got a clip, but he wasn't able to, and that just flowed right in front for Kronovi.
Yeah, that's about as close as you can get. Even the server looked a little uncertain. Now Insol. Block there. He's going to try to follow this up. No, Sizz comes from the back. Insol putting that across the net. G2 still holding strong. JNaps with a pop. No boost for Kronovi, but he fakes it. Does get the pass up. And then a great center ball. Rizzo's going to pass it above one defender, but not another. Still G2 pressure mounting.
And that fake from Kronovi is a prime example of somehow how thinking ahead can be a detriment to yourself. Everyone knows, all right, well, if I'm not going to reach this ball in time, I know he'll beat me to it. I won't even bother. In reality, Crow actually had no boost. Anyone could have beat him to that, but they all had faith that he'd be there. So then he had time to even make a second decision, since by then they had to think again, oh, well, now even though he has no boost, I still can't beat him to the ball because it took too long.
It's like a bluff.
Yeah.
Except this isn't poker. 1 minute remaining. G2 firmly in control of this game. Kronovi trying to get a touch there off that long pass. Rogue has not really threatened like they did in game number 1.
And there's proof they have a single shot on net against G2 eSports.
Now Jacob trying to get something going. Trying to prevent a back-to-back shutout. 30 seconds left. And a demo there from JNaps. And now Insol, he's going to run out of boost. Does get the touch, but now tough situation defensively. Demo, that might give them an opportunity on the counterattack. Good pass over to Jacob. Jacob back to Insol. Insol with a shot in, but Kronovi, or JNaps rather, makes the save. It seems like nothing Rogue is doing can beat this G2 defense.
It's either themselves or G2, right? Even when they do beat G2, they just miss target a tiny bit, or they're just a little bit off on that passing play, or maybe thinking one step too far ahead. Now, Rogue are getting very close, and it is at least promising to see that they're able to think as a team, because up until now, I know we had said they were a little bit more haphazard, they could be chaotic. I haven't seen any hints of that, but sometimes they're just a little bit too slow to get to the ball, or they don't actually know exactly where their teammates are, and they're sometimes passing it to empty spots. But again, it's the ideas that I like, execution, a little bit better.
Yeah, and G2, they're just holding firm. I mean, even that last second save there from JNaps, it was a very good passing play from Jacob right back to Insolences, but they are just cool as cucumbers.
Yeah, and even just to talk about what to go against, when you're against G2, why it's so struggling, not only do they have one of the best demolishers in the league, they've got the best passing in the league, and they also are some of the most accurate as far as they don't put a lot of shots on, but when they do, they are seriously damaging. I mean, that is a trifecta. That is something that is not easy to overcome because you can't find a weakness. And even though sometimes they might not put a whole lot of shots up and they're not going to spread the margin by a whole lot, they're still always going to make you feel like at any given point they can just punish.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing from the other members of G2. Rizzo and Kronovi stepping up. I mean, JNaps, he was the MVP last season. And, you know, he averaged about a little over 8 or 0.8 goals per game. He's about half that this season. So he's definitely struggling statistically, but G2 is still, they're stepping up as a unit. Here we go, potentially the final game of the series. G2 on the brink of a shutout sweep. Insolence is into the middle. Jacob takes control. He has the Batmobile. So it looks like a little bit of a pit stop for him, changing up his cars.
I get it.
That was a car joke. Now Sizz getting demoed. Pass into JNaps. JNaps with not the greatest first touch there.
They need to be careful. Rizzo seriously just spent so much time trying to demo, but they didn't get the shot.
Oh, Insolences had a golden opportunity, but Rogue still searching for that first goal of the series.
I hope he can keep his head, because I'd lose the match
and
from here.
Another high shot after Insolences clears the way. Carpet. Rogue just cannot score. They're cursed.
They have to be in their own heads at this point. These goals are, at this point, clinical for them. They should be able to make these.
Good pass in from Sizz, and another shot going high. Accuracy continuing to plague Rogue. Insolences misses his chance. Good pass down. Sizz is there, and it's off the crossbar yet again.
They just need one. They need one to break the curse to feel better about it.
At this point, Rogue must be so frustrated. We'll see if they can bounce back.
Another demolition.
And a long shot. You said these demos from G2 just adding further frustration. Now Rizzo, a win there. Kronovi following it up. Rizzo in the middle waiting. JNaps and Rizzo rather both go for that.
It will buy Rogue some time, though. That means they know they don't need to rush to get that first save. Now, Rizzo, last man on defense.
Another demo. It's been quite a few demos this game on both sides. Rizzo's going to try to follow that up. Ensol. Did he also make a change to Octane, or was he? I can't recall right now. Was he Batmobile at the start of the series? I think he was.
I'm the worst person to ask that.
All right.
I actually never know what anybody plays. I just watch what they do.
Jacob with a good block there. Another demo for Jacob. And that pinch pass attempt just sends it way too fast across the net. JNaps with a shot. That's going to go high, but nothing going right for Rogue. An own goal.
I mean, it's the first goal they scored, I guess, if you want to put it on their record. That is a difficult, that is such a tough shot to make, or save to make, I should say.
That is a tough, tough break. Rogue still looking for their first goal. They get one, but it's on themselves. Certainly not what they had planned. Now Sizz into the corner. Gets another touch, but Kronovi's going to take control. JNaps follows up. A miss from JNaps. Kronovi has no boots. He's going to have to give some space. Jacob trying to take possession, but that one's shut down by Rizzo. Now JNaps off the backboard. He's going to follow it up, but he misses his follow-up attempt. Full boost now coming in. Misses his center ball. JNaps certainly not looking like the JNaps we're used to seeing, but still G2 controlling this game. Ball floating out into the mid. Kronovi puts it up the sidewall to Rizzo. Rizzo is going to go for a ceiling play. Does he have the shot? Delayed shot. Fun attempt there from Rizzo, but it gets shut down by the Rogue defense.
Jacob says they've got just under a minute to try and make it happen.
Rogue still looking for those passing plays. Just cannot connect. Time is running out. JNaps taking control, but gets taken out by Sizz. Just a half a minute left to play. It's now or never for Rogue. Sizz off the ceiling. Kronovi touching it across. Insolences is there, and that is the first goal for Rogue, and it's an equalizer in the final 19 seconds.
When I saw the shot coming, I had to think to myself, Insolences, please, don't miss this. Don't miss this. Another open net that would have been crippling for them, but they will make it when it counts. Tying up the game, 19 seconds left.
We've seen reverse sweeps happen. I believe G2 had one of the most entertaining reverse sweeps against Rogue. Now Rogue's going to have to do the same, but a very big step for them still lies ahead. They have to win overtime.
Let it go in overtime.
Here we go.
Nice, Jacob.
Rogue just fighting for the first series win. G2 just one goal away from taking their 4th series of the RLCS.
Rizzo wants to do it all by himself.
JNaps taking control. Wins that 50-50. Insolences has some time. Ceiling opportunity for him. Does get the touch, but it's blocked. Now back into Rogue's corner. A set. Cleared by Sizz. Into the middle. Rizzo takes control. That shot's going to be high. Sizz chases that down, bouncing out into the middle. Good pass right back to Sizz. Now Rizzo getting challenged. Jacob up. Jacob taps it down to Insolences. Insolences has to slow down. A demo from Rizzo. Rizzo has just been out for blood. A shot in. JNaps. His shot was turned aside by Jacob.
Look at how rarely G2 will ever give up possession. Every time they have what seems like a hard clear, they'll always stay behind it. Go for a dribble, go for a pass. They're always trying to make sure they're next in line to get that touch or get that shot.
And Rizzo, too, coming across that back line, hungry for more demos. G2 just want to close this out. A long shot. Insolences, awkward ball for him. Puts it off his own crossbar. Another long clear from JNaps on the wall. Rizzo with a very good touch. Sizz plays that wonderfully, relieves pressure. Jacob popping it by Kronovi. Sizz stole that corner boost. Insolences down into the middle. JNaps just going to throw that off the back wall.
It was a good turn from him.
Sizz been pretty strong on defense, but now a ball dropping down. Insolences is there. And now a long shot. No one for G2 home. And Insolences, he's going to steal it. And Rogue steals game number 3.
Dedicated a bit too much for this. You see G2 coming to support JNaps, who dropped it out to him, but it bounced just over his car, and that was the final defender. At that point, just take the shot from across the field, and you'll see Rogue staying alive.
They certainly do. It seemed like it was going to be G2 all the way. But Rogue coming in. The final 19 seconds, Insolences puts one in. It seemed like nothing Rogue was doing was working. They could not hit the back of the net. but they did make it happen, and they stay alive in the series.
And outside of that final shot that Rogue took, they were tied in shots. They were 8-8. That last one made it 9-8 in favor of Rogue. So they did keep it much more even. We still saw plenty of poor execution on Rogue because the only goal they let up was a bit of an own goal. It was a very difficult save for Sizz, but it was a very bad save for Sizz.
It was not what you're trying to do at all.
Definitely
and
not.
Other than that one play, I thought Sizz played really well on the defense. So Rogue, they stay alive in this one. And Rizzo, too, he's just been a bruiser back there, just going for all these demos. This has been a very aggressive game from both of these sides, but Rizzo especially.
I mean, it's not a tactic that we particularly pegged G2 to have, which is very aggressive and very demo heavy, which we kind of started to see as the season's gone on. But coming into today knowing that Rizzo was tied for first in demos per game, and he's had what I'd say is probably like 8 or 9 already in just 3 games, which is usually nuts because he had an average of 1 per game, which when you think about it, if you don't get a single demo in a couple games, So the fact that
that's a high kill streak.
He's had that many in just 3 games. I'd like to know the hard number, but sadly my brain can't track that many things at once.
Not a supercomputer, but here we are. Game number 4, G2 versus Rogue. G2 dominated the first 2 games. Rogue struggled with their accuracy, but brought it back in game 3 in overtime. See if they can keep that going. Now Sizz up. He's going to go back into the middle where Jacob's waiting. Sizz over to Insolences, and Insolences almost got there in time.
That is tough. You either had to make the perfect shot. No one's here.
And the backboard read from Pranovi is going to get G2 the early goal.
And I can't blame Rogue for going on that. Sizz had 2 very quick decisions to make. Either take an amazing hard shot from the angle or try and pass it out to Insol. But he wasn't totally aware. It kind of ended up right in between. I'm not against Insolences going for that, trying to get the push, but he didn't really get the 50-50 he was hoping for. It pushed so far out. G2 went for the counter.
And look at that again. It was Rizzo off the backboard to Pranovi. Pranovi, you know, he had a very limited window of opportunity, and he made it happen. So Pranovi and Rizzo continue to just do such a good job on behalf of G2. And now a chance, and Rizzo, or Pranovi rather, is going to put that high. JNAP set him up wonderfully. Now Pranovi and G2 struggle a bit with their accuracy.
At this point for them, they are a goal up, so it's kind of an okay thing. But something they don't want to continue on, as we know Rogue can keep fighting until the bitter end.
It is not over until it's over. Now Rizzo, a shot in. Sizz is there. Another demo for JNAP this time. G2 just demo after demo after demo.
Not a great save. He needs JNAPs in support. Pranovi wasn't able to follow through. This could be a chance for Rogue.
Now Insolences is going to pop that up. Jacob turns. He doesn't have any boost though, so he's going to be out of the play for a bit. Insolences. This is that 50-50 chance for JNAPs off the ceiling. Sizz holds firm.
He's getting a little bit sick and tired of these double touches. He's waiting on that backboard now.
Now a shot opportunity. Sizz, it's blocked by Rizzo. Jacob pops it up. Now Pranovi downfield to Rizzo. Rizzo off the corner, follows it up himself and finds the top corner. Rizzo looking good.
Making a name for himself this season. And look at this touch, followed by the second one. He knew exactly where that was going. He started boosting horizontally. He knew where he had to be for that. A couple of last second adjustments, and he's able to put that on target. 2 goals up for G2.
Solid read there from Rizzo. I thought he was going to pass that into Pranovi, but just went for it himself. Big plays from Rizzo, who has had a great season for G2. He's stepping up big time now that JNAP's has had a little bit of a quiet start. Rizzo filling in just wonderfully, and Pranovi right there with him. Jacob gets a piece of it, throws off Pranovi for a brief moment. Now Insol. Challenge that ball, bouncing out into the middle. Jacob off the backboard. JNAPs cuts that into pieces. Now another demo from Rizzo. We're going to have to get some demo stats after this.
I am actually unbelievably curious to know how many G2 has, especially Rizzo himself.
Now a long clear. JNaps puts it safely into the corner.
Nice last man defense from JNaps.
Now Sizz up. Kronovi and Rizzo both go for it. That might just bounce in. Jacob just pounces on that ball. A double commit from G2.
I mean, you might as well secure it while you have a chance. Again, that was going directly on target, but just in case someone could get there for the save, I'd be a little bit scared to do that in case I put that into the crossbar, but he seemed confident in his ability. Now, only a 1-goal game. Can Rogue stay alive yet another game?
That is the question, Carpet. We only have about a minute and a half left to play. Rogue still down by 1. Pass into the middle. And that shot's going to find the back of the net. A long shot from JNaps.
Not looking great. I'd love to know what happened on these rotations. I'm trying to look around. Jacob being that last man, trying to contest it mid. That touch from G2 out into their own kind of middle field in their half wasn't very great because no one was there for a good ball. It was very.
You set yourself up for a goal on the other team.
Yeah, so
you do that.
I'm surprised that not only was no one there to challenge that, but then no one was even there to be ready for that shot that became so delayed. But now, 2 goals up. G2 are looking pretty.
Kronovi almost snuck that one in. Rizzo's going to turn on this to drop it down into the middle. And Sizz flips that one away. Oh, and a miss there from Rizzo. Sizz off the backboard. Jacob's going to go off the ceiling. Now pressure relieved. Rizzo has some time. He's going to control it. Goes for the flick. But Sizz reads it out. G2 just touching that ball away from Rogue, trying to keep possession. Jacob going for boost. Sizz with a shot opportunity, and he puts it crossbar down Rogue. 1 step closer to tying it up.
Of all the times to pull out the accuracy, this shot from Sizz and the angle he came in on, the fact that he put that to the top left, impressive shot indeed. Now a single goal again. Rogue are keeping it close, but is it a little bit too late?
See if they can do it. They scored with 19 seconds left on the clock to force overtime in the last game. Can they do it again? Now Insolence is downfield. Rizzo over to Insol. That's going to go off the backboard. A touch from Kronovi. Sends it high. Sizz there. Jacob turns. And he misses. Final moments. Insolence is to Jacob. That ball's going to touch, and G2 take the series 3-1 over Rogue.